There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Ha! Not going to panic about that. Not going to panic about not having myself on the screen. Keep catching myself out with that this week. How you doing? Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Expats Portugal show. How's it going? All about balance. Now, I went to bed about 6 hours ago, I think, at 2:30 in the morning because this is interesting, isn't it? The pursuit of balance. I reconnected my Mayo what's it called? Set-top box. Do they still call them that? That probably sounds really old-fashioned, doesn't it? My Mayo box, anyway, so that I can receive Portuguese TV and other channels. Now, the great thing about that, of course, is that I can listen to Portuguese news and immerse myself in Portuguese culture that way and let it sink in and enjoy and be appalled at what's going on in the news, as you do with the news. But then there's also access to something like Acorn, I think it is, which I've been paying a subscription for because very cleverly, Mayo don't make it very clear how to cancel your subscription. And I think in the last 9 months when my box hasn't been connected, so to speak, and who doesn't like having their box connected first thing in the morning on the Expats Portugal show, I have been paying that and haven't known how to cancel it. And it was something like $2.99, a small amount that you barely notice until you add it up at the end of the year and think, oh my God, I'm going to have to do something about this. So it's reconnected and Portuguese news is able to come into my consciousness and into the living room, but so is Acorn TV. And I watched some British two nights ago, I watched some British drama, and the Brits do the productions very well, don't they? Good characterization, good storylines, good production values. Something called Life. Has anybody been watching that? Something called Life. Pretty gritty, based in Manchester, and pretty good, I have to say. And then I lured Mrs. M into it last night, and we got into that thing. Should we just watch another one? Oh, this is so good. We better watch another one. And before you know it, it's 2:30. That, my friends, is not balance. That's not enough sleep. We're talking about balance this morning from 9 o'clock with Happy Phil and Coach Turner this morning. Coach Turner can do his own God Squad tip of the day. But if you really can't wait, you can read that in the chat at the moment. Okay, so T-Duck's in as well. It's a Feel Good Friday. We're talking about balance. And often when it comes to balance, it's like, are you doing enough of those worthy things? Really the example I just gave. Are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough fresh air? Those sorts of things. But my question to you is this, as well as those, we will cover those, is are you having enough fun? And I think Happy Phil will approve of that. Is the fun balance right in your life? Have you got a bit too serious? And goodness only knows there are a lot of forces in the world at the moment that might encourage you to be concerned, anxious, and serious. We need to get that balance right, do we not? Are we not here on this earth for the short time that we're here to enjoy ourselves? Are you getting that balance right? If there's anything we can help with, anything at all, whether it be the imbalance of body, mind, or spirit, you've come to the right place this morning. So as well as T-Duck, Gary's here. James is in, thinking about what name he's going to use next week. And he will be, of course, with us at around 8:45. 8:40. I have to bring him on 8:40 because we don't have enough time if he's only on for 15 minutes. Have you noticed how his slot has got bigger? So we'll have him in at around 20 to 9 on Monday with Thoughts from the Redwoods as the warm-up act, as the fluffer possibly for Gilda Pereira from EI, who joined us at 9 o'clock for Migration Monday. But it's a long time between now and Monday, and we're going to have some fun this morning on a Feel Good Friday session. And let's see what... Deagle's here as well, so let's see what everybody's saying this morning. T-Duck has got his ducks in a row. Excellent. With a bon dia, alegria, gumpers. Great to have you, T-Duck. And great to see that you're back on full form with your deep thoughts of the day, with your dad jokes, with your Portuguese saying, And also, yes, the wonderful selection of dad jokes, Angry Birds, chickens, and pizza chefs featuring in the dad jokes this morning. Gary's got a flipping Eck Friday for us. Lost the house sale on Wednesday. Yeah, that was real bad hearing about that, Gary. And then out of the blue, a cash buyer called and bought it on Thursday evening. The roller coaster ride. I think we crossed our fingers at this end, Gary, and sorted that out for you. Any other miracles that you need help with, just tune into the Expats Portugal show, and we'll just merely cross our fingers and think positively for you. And who knows, it might even work. We're back on track. Great to hear that. Munson, get those beers ready. It'll be my pleasure, Mr. Orgles, Senor Orgles, coming over here. How do Portuguese people say your name? Orgles. Gary Orgles. Are you getting used to that? I went to the barber yesterday. I don't know why I'm saying that. Something flashed before my eyes in the not my life. Don't worry. Something flashed in front of my eyes on the chat there. I'll tell you about my experience at the barber yesterday. And the best translation app I've discovered yesterday. It's since I've been in Portugal yesterday at the barbers. Thank you, Barbera Batista. Look, I'll give you a little. Not bad, huh? Great job. Love going to the barber. Left it too long on this last visit. It's a bon dia, Carl and Gampers from a sunny Belfast, looking like 18 to 20 today. Ooh, let's look at the Portuguese weather as well for the weekend, shall we? In this segment before 9, when Phil and Coach Turner join us. We've also got a special guest. Those of you old timers, I mean, we're all old timers in a sense, aren't we here? Many of us anyway. But those of you who are veterans of the Good Morning Portugal show will remember Adriel of Shimajito. And we mentioned briefly, didn't we, the other day, that he's managed to get power from mushrooms. He grows mushrooms, which many people might like to know about for eating, for edibility. Is that a word? For eating, anyway. What's Phil up to? Phil's popping on and off behind the scenes. You all right there, Phil? I think he is. He's just testing his connection. He looks like I don't know which backdrop he's got, whether that's UK. You can't tell the UK from Portugal at the moment with the similar blue skies at both ends. But anyway, Phil's just testing his connection when you can hear that boop in the background there. And yeah, so well done, you, Digo. 18 to 20 to look forward to. We'll look at the Portuguese weather as well. And yes, at 9:30, we'll have Adriel from Shimajito talking about how he's managed to harness electricity from mushrooms. Now, he's a yes. Let's get all those fun guy jokes out of the way right now. And think about it. The Tesla powered by mushrooms. You might want to have a little think about that as well. Oh, I downloaded and sent myself some memes that you might like to riff on as well this morning on a Feel Good Friday. Well, what did I do with those? I was loading up Victoria's lovely pictures that she sent me. Oh, this is good. Yeah. Okay. I've got 2 things to share with you. And this one I meant to share with you earlier on as a start to the day. And this one too. Slept in my Eagles t-shirt and woke up in the Hotel California. Slept in my Led Zeppelin t-shirt and woke up dazed and confused. Keep it going, says the meme. So let's do that, shall we, this morning? Let me just show you those on the screen to make a little bit more sense of it, as well as showing you Victoria's bacalhau, as it were, in a little while as well. Home cooked bacalhau. Who else has tried that? Who else has tried one of the many bacalhau recipes that Portugal boasts with its wonderful and much loved salted codfish? So this is for you this morning. You know what? I'm about to say it. I'm glad you exist and woke up today. I know it's not easy sometimes, but I'm proud of you. How about that? That's a lovely meme, isn't it, to share with everybody? Yes, you. Yes, you. And going back to this. Slept in my Eagles t-shirt and woke up in the Hotel California. Slept in my Led Zeppelin t-shirt and woke up dazed and confused. Keep it going. Please do. Let me know what t-shirt you went to sleep in and how you woke up this morning. Okay. So yes, great news for Gary Orgles. Excellent to hear from you, James, with this holistic balance, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. They're all important and all connected. And I think it's a bit like a chain, is it not, James? You're only as good as your weakest link. So maybe that's something to ponder this morning. Where am I a bit light or absent in the wheel of life? Is it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual? And you might want to make a little commitment to putting that right this morning. So confessions also welcome in the chat this morning. Slug's slot is as tight as ever. Yes, glad to hear it. And you haven't been despite the apophilation, I think it's called, or whatever the word was. They call me Cargamelo. Yes, very good. That's Donovan, isn't it? Went to sleep in my Donovan t-shirt and woke up. You can fill in the blanks. Parabéns on the house sale from Deagle then. Okay, let's have a look at Victoria's um, lovely bacalhau recipe and a creation. There she goes. What did she say about that? Victoria, let me find your lovely message. And thanks everybody who's been sending me messages, pictures and videos on 00351 913 590 303. That's a lunch earlier in the week. Bacalhau made at home with onion, potato and Algarvian carrots. Yum, looks pretty good. And I think that's been served on the balcony there in the blazing Algarvian sunshine in Portimao. Very good. Thank you for that. Thank you very much indeed, Victoria. And I'm going to play your, whilst we're there in the Algarve, I'm going to play your, because it was so good, your Silvish music, the music video that you sent us, okay? After I have played the other video you sent me, which was lunch yesterday. This was the day before yesterday now, as it turns out. Rabbit from a new takeout. Ooh, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. I can match that with a bit of... Woohoo! I love that. Bon dia as well from Stephen Wells this morning. How you doing, Stephen? What's new? Yes, I think you have something to contribute to this whole idea of living a balanced life, don't you? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, as James was saying. Good morning to you. What's your view on it? You might want to join us on the screen as well, Stephen. Speaking of balance, how about a bowl of meat? Okay, yeah, from time to time. Noted your comments yesterday. It's quite right, James, and I would agree with you, I have to say. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. Balanced by, the bowl of meat, balanced by a glass of wine. Claro, yeah, clearly. Quite right, too. Yeah, that looked like a nice crispy white that Victoria was enjoying with her rabbit dish from the takeaway. Not many countries in the world where you can say I got rabbit from the takeaway. It's a different thing when you say you got rabbit in London. Hola, Carl and Gumpers from Connie. How you doing, Connie? Great to see you here. This morning. Keep the noise down. Hank's still snoozing, I suspect. And it's Feelgood Friday today to do that prank, the hanky pranky, where we're going to put his finger in a glass of water. We're so tempted, but we wouldn't do that to dear Hank. Carl, what's the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut? 2 weeks, but in your case, 4 weeks. Was it a 70s short back and sides? Well, I don't know. Judge for yourself. What do you think? I think it's not. I think it's tiny. And and I've got to tell you about what happened there. I was in the Barbers in Alfezral. This is the road that the town that you go through when you come off the motorway to drive towards San Martino de Porto. You think you're getting to San Martino de Porto, and you think, well, hold on a minute, I can't see the sea anywhere. No, you're not in San Martino de Porto yet. You're in Alfezral, and that's where my barber, Barber Batista, is there. And what an amazing! I called it in my little. I made a little sort of podcast recording about it yesterday, and called it the Gentleman's Club on the High Street because it's a place where fellas can go and be fellerish, I suppose, and be in a bit of a blokey atmosphere. And they do it well here in Portugal. I've got to say the banter was running freely in there, but I couldn't understand a lot of it until my barber, whilst he was cutting my hair, washing my hair, trimming my beard, taking a razor to me. His razor was so sharp, I couldn't even feel it in action. I could hear it. Almost a bit like being at the dentist. You're going to hear terrifying sounds of, and I could hear a slight sort of very clean scrape on my face. And he said, "Don't even move your eyes," to one of the other customers there, because his Brazilian buddy says he drinks a lot of, is it cachaça? Keep still, don't even move your eyes. He's using the razor on you at the moment. And this is what the banter was about, apparently. There was some Portuguese, Brazilian banter going on. And the translations that I was being given in my ear simultaneously, what he just said to him was this, and what he just said to him was that. It was proper blokey banter, I have to say. And I got to tell you, nice to be in that sort of environment. And thank you so much to my barber for giving me that simultaneous translation and giving me that little insight into a blokey life here in Portugal. So, yeah, taxi drivers, a hairdressers, barbers, the great place to go to really immerse yourself in Portuguese culture. And it's a far cry from 15 years ago when I was first in Portugal, when I first fell in love with the country and went for a haircut and a beard trim in Tabua and didn't have any Portuguese whatsoever. Yes, I know you still don't, Carl, but I have a little bit more now than I did then. It was all sign language 15 years ago. Yesterday, I was keeping up pretty well. I was chatting a little bit with some of the fellas in there in Portuguese, mixing it up a bit, Portuglish style, you know. But when they got into full-on banter mode, there was no way of keeping up with that. So very grateful to have a simultaneous translation in my ear and enjoy that atmosphere where you can have a coffee and a beer at the Portuguese barbers. Really good. Okay, thank you for your comment there, Deagle. Connie, Steve, and Victoria is here. I don't know if you saw that, Victoria. Thank you. I showed you your bacalhau pic and your rabbit video. Hola, bon dia, kids from sunny Portimao this morning. And I played your music vid as well from the Silvish Medieval Festival as well. Love the sound of the Moorish music. Raj is also here, I think, from the Algarve. Bon dia todos. How you doing, Raj? And good morning, people, from Lee. Very kind yesterday, Lee. And Connie, yes, hi, James from Connie. Bon dia todos. Crazy golf today in Lagos. Living the dream. When people think of golf in Lagos, I guess they don't, or the Algarve, they're not necessarily thinking of crazy golf. But I think you've got visitors, and that sounds like a thoroughly appropriate thing to do. And I think that Portuguese they take all their sports seriously, don't they? And crazy golf will be no exception to that. How good is the crazy golf course there? Has it got windmills and water features and all sorts of things there? Jack, let us know. Give us a link, if you will, as well, to the crazy golf in Lagos and the wonderful things. Lagos, all right, Lagos. We had the Golden Visa webinar last night. And the Shane Peacock from Holborn was very clear to let us know that he was interested in selling properties that were in Lagos, not Lagos, in Nigeria. Your business deals that originating in Nigeria do have a certain cachet attached to them, don't they? Okay, so don't forget, we're looking at this. Slept in my Eagles t-shirt and woke up in the Hotel California. Slept in my Led Zeppelin t-shirt and woke up dazed and confused. Keep it going. I've had nothing yet. There in the chat. Let's go and look at and see what T-Duck has given us this morning from the point of view of Portuguese sayings and also deep thoughts of the day. And I think we've got a Will Rogers quote of the day as well, haven't we? Okay, so deep thought of the day then. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is really what you are, is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. John Wooden. Was he an actor? I've not heard of John Wooden. But that is beautiful, isn't it? Be more concerned with your character. It has sort of echoes of Martin Luther King, isn't it? Talking of character there. So be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Yeah, and in the age we live in of social media, I guess people are managing their reputations, aren't they? Rather than doing the quiet character work, which not everyone gets to see, unless, of course, you virtue signal it, as I love to do on social media. Portuguese saying of the day then, uma ovelha mapou, pole. No, it's not going to be pau, is it? Per maybe. Uma ovelha mapou, rebanho a perda. A bad sheep is ruining the flock. Well, let's see what happens at 9 o'clock. A bad sheep is ruining the flock. One bad apple can spoil the whole bunch there. So thank you for that, Ovelha. A bad sheep is ruining the flock. Okay, I get that, but just that's confusing me somewhat. The sounds and those words, what I imagine they mean and what they actually mean there. But thank you very much. Don't mean to doubt you there, T-Duck. Should we get the party started there with a few dad jokes this morning? I think it's only right to issue a warning before we do so. Oh, we haven't heard from this gentleman either.
Bom dia, Portugal!
Bon dia, Portugal! That's certainly it gets the blood coursing through the veins, it stiffens the sinews, summons up the blood with that excellent greeting. We spoke to, well, it's a week ago when we spoke to Joao, the president of the motorcycle club. Floresta, was it? No, I forget now, but he is the president of the motorcycle club, who we spoke to alongside Mac and Philomena on last Friday's Feel Good Friday show. Okay, one of these then, and we'll be back with a few dad jokes after this, of course.
Warning.
Oh, no! Oh, that's barely long enough to get a sip of tea.
Warning.
Sorry. I'm just trying to get rid of the comment. Yeah. As the actress said to the bishop. Okay, where are those dad jokes gone? Okay, Portuguese saying we've done that. Dad joke warning. An angry bird landed on a doorknob. then it flew off the handle. I struggled to hit the rim shot, though, I've got to say. Phil, not. Yeah, I think that's a thumbs down. If he were a Roman emperor, that dad joke would be in a lot of trouble right now. Send in the lions. What did? What? Sorry, not what did. Why did the chicken cross the playground to get to the other slide? Okay, that's better. That's better. I think that might get the level thumb from Phil. Okay, let's see then. Okay, this is a good dad joke. Pizza chefs work extra hard because they need the dough. Hey, there we go. That's a proper dad joke, isn't it? Dads, feel free to try any or all of those in the back of the motor later on today if you get the chance. And send some in of your own this morning. Deagle's saying, Carl, a song by the beautiful South, The Prettiest Eyes, was made in a Lisbon Barber's shop. I think that is meant to say barber shop, isn't it? Unless it was made in a Lisbon bra shop. Which would be very carry on, wouldn't it? A song in my top 3 of all time about growing old and loving a partner sees. Oh, the growing old love a partner sees on his wife's face and eyes. That's Paul Heaton, isn't it? Who could really craft a good song. What an amazing lyricist and what a complicated man, I think, as well. So lovely to hear that. I'm going to search out that video out. So as well as a Faja de Dia, possibly there, a track of jazz funk Faja de Dia, I think we've got a nice Lisbon-based song. And have you ever heard the track Good Morning Portugal? I forget the name of the artist now, but there is a song called Good Morning Portugal as well. Good Morning Portugal. Yes, what's his name? Is it Desmond? Somebody like that. You might want to look that up on Spotify as well while you're trying to find the prettiest eyes that Deagle brings to our attention here. Thank you very much for that, Deagle. Laura P is now in, and I think they had a lovely meetup in Portimao yesterday. Well done, Jack Polly. Wooden was a very successful college basketball coach for UCLA long ago. Thank you, James, for that. 1970s or so. Brilliant. And Coach Turner, Paul Heaton, is one of the best songwriters in the UK. He is, isn't he? And as I said, a complicated fellow from what I know of him, and band members of a band that supported him when they played in Sheffield. Carl, you need a groan sound. Yeah, or the sound of this, one of these. I think maybe as well. The groan and slap combo, possibly. The College Hall of Fame, is that where Wooden is famous from as well? Do we need a Gumper Hall of Fame as well? Who are the great heroes and people who inspire us Gumpers? Maybe a Gumper Hall of Fame. Can we initiate that? Are you able to do that? Can you add that to your list then, James, of things, as well as writing the erotic novel? And what other ideas have we had? We've had movies we're going to make as well. A Gumper Hall of Fame as well. I was going to go for a swim, but the Minister of Home Affairs said we can do a big shop. Oh. Yes, I sat outside Lidl's the other night with the youngest asleep in the car. Mrs. M, just, how they say, just going to pop in for a few bits. I'm sure she was in there for an hour. It was enough time for me to, I think, go into beta. Is that a theta sleep, is it? I went into deep dream state, walkabout style, Aboriginal style in my driver's seat there. Tidied the car up a little bit. Yeah, if I had an ashtray to empty, I'd have done that as well. Don't need to do that anymore. Basically, I could have valeted the whole car and several others in the car park at the time that Mrs. M was in there. Is the groan sound for bad jokes? Oh, I didn't read the end of that. Was going to go for a swim, but the Minister of Home Affairs said we can go do a big shop. Go do a big shop. It sounds a little bit insulting, doesn't it? You can go to a shop, then a big shop. Is a big food shop heading out around 10 a.m. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but I get the impression, Deagle, you are going for a big shop, my friend. Yes, and the amount of money that gets spent in supermarkets these days is incredible, isn't it? So big shop day for Deagle. Enjoy it, mate, if you possibly can. You might want a groan sound for that as well. Is the groan sound for bad jokes or for getting out of your seat? Yes. Oh, and I saw a fantastic video meme the other day of the sound made. I think it was like a UK-based meme. The sound, the universal sound in the morning before getting out of the car and going to work. Who's familiar with this? I think it's transferable to America. So the car stops, the handbrake goes on. You might adjust your look in the mirror to make sure you haven't got a bit of spinach or cereal or whatever in your beard or in your teeth. And then as the belt is unclicked, it's here we go then. Who remembers that? from their corporate life. Okay, let's do this. That is so sad, isn't it? Grown lurch style from Adam's family. Have we got that? We need to find that, don't we? Let's make sure I've touched on all your comments this morning. No, I haven't. Suzanne is in. Suzanne's in from Washington, D.C. How is Seth doing over there? Do you know that in certain Facebook groups, I hear there are now spreadsheets detailing the times that consulates and CEFs are taking it in America so that people know which might be the best consulate to go to. Come on, Portugal, you're missing out on lots of business and lots of lovely people coming to the country with these backlogs and slow service around the world. And that's the sound of Coach Turner in the back as well. I think Happy Phil has made his a good and a positive connection, of course, as he would. Onto the show. We'll talk to those gentlemen in just a moment. But I still want to hear some of these. None of these yet. If you could please supply on my invitation here. Slept in my Eagles t-shirt and woke up in a Hotel California. Slept in my Led Zeppelin t-shirt and woke up dazed and confused. Is the problem that you can't remember what t-shirts you've got? Go and have a look in the wardrobe if you're struggling to remember what musical t-shirts you have and see what you can do to keep that going. As the meme suggests there for you. Let's bring them on, shall we? Let's bring them on. They're ready to go. They're champing at the bit in their respective homes here, in their natural environment. So let's do this. Let's bring on Coach Turner. He's got a God Squad tip of the day. And Happy Phil. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Hang on, before we start, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Ian. Happy birthday to you.
I'm slightly embarrassed. Is it today, Ian?
Yeah.
Have I not been keeping an eye on our WhatsApp? Well,
You ignore it. You ignore us all the time, Mr. Munson.
Do you know what the deep thought of the day is? And I don't know what I'm going to do about this now. But the deep thought of the day, not the Portuguese deep thought, but the general purpose thought of the day was be more concerned with your character than your reputation. My reputation just sank a little bit there, didn't it? One of my guests this time, I didn't even know it was your birthday. I'm so sorry, Ian. Happy birthday to you. If I can
Thank you, sir.
So what are you doing? What you got planned? A big shop, maybe?
Certainly not a big shop. Not like Deagle. No, we're headed up to Centre Parks in Thetford Forest.
Oh, very nice.
With all my grandchildren, all the kids. We got a big dinner in a local pub tonight, and so I won't be in much of a state tomorrow morning. But then we don't do the show tomorrow morning, so that's fine.
It's all about balance. It's all about balance. So you're going to go a little bit wonky and out of balance in the boozing department, and wonky.
I suspect so. Yes.
Excellent.
Anyway.
Excellent. Okay, so you're in the UK. I know you're snowbirding it to the Algarve, I believe, later on this year. Is that your next trip planned for Portugal?
Yeah, we're heading to a hotel called the Victoria, which is near Albufeira, between Villamora and Albufeira, and it has its own running track. So
really,
yeah. So I thought I'd go and try it.
Hold on a minute. There's two things I want to ask you about there. This hotel is called the Victoria Hotel. What, after Queen Victoria or Victoria Benson?
Probably Victoria Benson. It's a sports hotel. So.
A sports hotel with its own running track. I mean,
its own running track, pools, gym.
Okay.
It's quite. I don't know what it's like, but it has a good reputation. So.
How big is the running track at a hotel, would you imagine?
It's a full-size track, though only 4 lanes, I believe.
Only 4 lanes, okay. So
yeah,
enough for
full 400-meter track. So.
Seriously? I didn't know about that. So maybe we'll have a little look at that before we leave there.
Have a look on Google Maps. It's just sort of west of the marina at Villamora.
Very interesting. Okay, and maybe it could be the site of a meetup in the future. Could it also not a boot camp, because we don't do boot camp, do we? But
no, we don't do boot camp.
If we had a well-being weekend, that wouldn't be a bad place to host it, would it?
It would be a cool place to host it, but it's not. Yeah. It's not silly money either. So,
wow, interesting. Okay,
not compared to Martignal, anyway.
Yes. Well, that's where I prefer to stay at Martignal, of course. Shout out to the lovely folks at Martignal. How you doing this morning? Phil, it sounds like you might be camped by the M25. What's going on in the background now? Are you at Woodstock, Woodstock 22?
Are you getting a little bit of road noise? I had these really nice earbud headsets, but they didn't work with this piece of software, and so I had to go back to my old wired headsets. And you're probably picking up the road noise of the B whatever it is. 4146, something like that. We're on the edge of the Ashridge estate. It is beautiful this morning. It's like 22 for all of those who sweating away madly. It's just lovely. But there is a bit of road noise, so I apologise for that. Lady Kay's in the van. She's doing a bit of work in the van on the video. So I'm stuck out on the deck chair in front of the forest. It's lovely.
Sounds
I like
good.
it.
And you are in the UK at the moment?
I am in the UK. We are in the London area. My daughter actually emigrates to Israel on Monday. So we took the opportunity to spend a couple of weeks in and around the London area so we could see her before she goes and see the rest of the family and see some friends. But in 2 weeks' time, we're up in Snowdonia for 7 weeks. And then it's Portugal all the way, baby.
Nice one. So van lifing it then, Phil.
Well, you know,
two months time you'll be back in. I think that's quite wise. It'd be a little bit cooler in Castelo Branco, won't it? In 8 weeks' time.
Yeah, chubby, not stupid.
Is that on your business card? That'll be
well, it would be if Kimberly would let me.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Okay, we do have a T-shirt. I don't know if you've been thinking about this. We've got this little meme that's been sent in. Slept in my Eagles T-shirt and woke up in Hotel California. Slept in my Led Zepp T-shirt. I woke up dazed and confused. Thank you, Deagle, for this contribution to that part of the conversation. Where is it? Oh my goodness! I slept in my football shirt and scored. And happy birthday, Ian. Enjoy from Victoria, one of the original God Squad.
Victoria.
And Rebel Mama. You never know, she might join us this morning as well, Rebel Mama. Thanks for being here, Victoria. Have you been to your namesake hotel there? Ignore who? Yeah, all right. Parabenjian, remember to close your eyes when making a wish. What? Okay, that ensures that it comes true, does it? Thank you for that making advice. Making wishes. Creation, abundance, technology. We can talk to Phil about that, of course, this morning. That's what he deals in. That's how he lives. Bon dia, tres amigos from Simon. Good morning to you. Laura P with the parabéns. You've got a Jan there, which is fair enough, isn't it? And bon dia.
I answer to most things, Carl.
I fell asleep in my. Hold on, can I read this out? It's not a Pete Bleach, is it? I fell asleep in my cream T-shirt and woke up at the crossroads.
That works.
Does that work? I don't know much about Cream's back catalogue. That works. Okay, good. I fell asleep. Look, he's doing it. I fell asleep in my I Am Butterfly T-shirt and woke up in a Goda da Vida, baby. Okay, that's a bit specialist, isn't it? But I'm sure it works. I'm sure it works. And from Korea this morning, Amelia Kelly's here. Great to have you, Amelia, from Korea. Now, I've got a couple of vids to show you, gentlemen, to get the party started in this conversation about getting things right in terms of living a balanced life. We were trying to think about how to balance drinking wine with taking exercise. But when we began our conversation on WhatsApp about booze, basically, alcohol is a poison, isn't it? I mean, we can't pretend it's in itself good for us. We like its effects, and we can attenuate its effects through a balanced use of that drug, if you like. But it is. I was thinking about this. Do either of you know what the physiology or the biochemistry is of alcohol? Is it true that what's going on is that brain cells are being deadened so you can become uninhibited? Is that the bottom line?
I believe that to be true. But you should. I love a glass of wine. With a good meal or the right company, I love a glass of wine. And let's be honest, it does have that relaxing effect. Yes. It's. I have a bigger problem with the alcohol industry per se, having worked in it. That you know, when you understand the cynicism of the alcohol industry, particularly the beer industry. Maybe not so much the wine industry, because vineyards tend to be small local businesses rather than some of these massive places. Somewhere like I worked for. This is no word of a lie. I worked for Guinness, and this is all true, so they can't sue me because I have.
Or me.
Or you, allegedly. But allegedly, I was going round the pubs of northwest London back in 93, 94. And we were tasked to put into every pub a cooler for the Guinness pipe to drop the temperature so that it was somewhere between 10 and 12 degrees centigrade rather than 16 to 18 degrees centigrade. And the reason for this, catch this, is because they realized you could drink 2.4 pints. The 0.4 pints is obviously very important. 2.4 pints more per session if they had it at that temperature.
Wow. Yeah. That's not cynical at all, is it?
It's not really not. It's really not. But no, I mean, during those years, that job would have killed me because I used to take publicans from England and take them to Ireland to get them drunk at rugby internationals. That job would have killed me if I'd have stayed in it.
But it worked, that you did it because it worked. As publicans stood in their pubs and they were thinking, what shall I offer the next person? Oh, Guinness. I don't know what it is, but I just feel so good about Guinness. Would you like a Guinness?
Yeah.
Here we are still talking about it as a serving suggestion this morning. Yeah, all of that works, doesn't it? So I take your point.
It does. Yeah. It does.
Yeah, it's an industry, isn't it? It's an industry as well as a hobby.
Yes. It is. It's true. It's true. And I used to drink Nuki Brown before playing rugby because it numbed the pain.
Yeah, again, another funny thing that we do to ourselves for, like inflicting pain on ourselves for the purposes of pleasure. You could say that about drinking and rugby, couldn't you? And then when you put them together. Okay, so this is excellent. If anyone else wants to share their medical results this morning in the chat, please do. No pictures though. Just had an ultrasound of my liver. Whew, all clear. So, yeah, okay, let's go, Amelie. Looking forward to more wine in my life, Portuguese wine. Yes, absolutely. Good point, Stephen. Oxygen is toxic in high concentrations and pressures. So we really are talking about balance. And when it comes to balance, as well as, all the worthy and good things that you need to balance your life. My question earlier, gentlemen, was, are people having enough fun? I think that's a little bit of a challenge at the moment. A lot of forces in the media, political life or the political landscape that cause people to perhaps be a little bit anxious and uncertain and possibly unhappy. How can we make sure we've got the right balance of fun and positivity in our lives? You might want to talk about that as well this morning. Look at this. I slept in my Rolling Stones t-shirt and I woke up in great pain with Angie. That's what I do understand and can reference there. Thank you very much for that, James. Okay, a couple of vids to show you, as I promised. This one, Coach Turner, and we'll come back to your God Score tip of the day that you can do yourself this morning. This one was sent to both of us on Twitter. And if anyone's making excuses or groaning getting in and out of the chair, you might want to try, you might want to think about this, maybe not try it straight away. Okay, he says. Phil, Ian, are you going to be trying that?
Shouldn't he get a bike that fits him properly?
Well, it's all very well saying that, Phil.
He was a granddad, wasn't he?
He was a granddad. He ain't lost it. He ain't lost it.
It was impressive, wasn't it? And I'm a bit jealous.
I think that's amazing.
It's like remembering that people who are now in care homes were probably Rolling Stones fans.
Yes, exactly.
And yet they're still playing bloody Vera Lynn.
Or are actually the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah, so I went past the skate park yesterday and I thought to myself, I was never that good at it, but I would be reluctant and a little bit too careful now to probably get on a skateboard, although I probably would. What do we say about that? There is this sense of frailty, isn't there? Are we a little bit too cautious with these things, or is it probably quite good to avoid having a broken ankle or wrist?
You don't want to be breaking things as you get older.
Okay, all right.
Bones, I mean. Bones.
Records, yes, but not bones. Okay,
not bones.
All right.
So I'll just I have a birthday card I opened this morning.
All right, I get it. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. Did I mention that?
No, but I did.
It's quite appropriate for what.
Very good, Ian.
It's quite appropriate for what we're discussing. It says the health benefits of a glass of wine are somewhat dubious. It does, however, have an amazing impact on witty comebacks and flawless dance moves.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, keep that in your back pocket for this weekend. Yeah, so true. So skateboarding, BMXing, maybe not, but dancing, yes.
Flawless dance moves every time.
Very good. Thank you to whoever sent that card to Ian. So what we got this morning in terms of tips of the day then, Ian?
I always forget what I've written by the time it gets to this point. No, I think basically athletes have great balance. And that comes from having a very strong core, so your core muscles, so that you can keep basically the lower part of your body and the upper part of your body connected. And they get that from lots of training and practice. My balance comes from 3 or 4 days of training a week, not all day, obviously, and balancing it with a similar number of days drinking. Not all day, of course.
No.
So I think the lesson I've got, which in fact my dad told me, is don't drink every day, don't drink alone, and enjoy what you drink. Just don't do it too often.
Well, I think Turner Senior has. Can we have that again? Because that is really good.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember what I said now.
Don't drink alone. That was one of them.
Don't drink alone was his biggest one. So find some friends and get drunk with them. Probably.
Yes.
Don't drink every day.
Yes.
And enjoy what you drink rather than just drinking it.
Yeah. That is.
So I think that can be, spend a bit more on a bottle. Just don't drink rubbish stuff every day.
I agree.
That way is a dangerous path.
I love that. We got another meme in the making there. That's a fantastic holy trinity of approaching the booze, isn't it? Would you add any insight to that? Were you given any good advice growing up about drinking, Phil?
Yeah, well, I returned home at 3 a.m. as a late teenager, and my father was waiting up for me, which was never a good signal. And he said to me, Phil, slow horses, fast women, no way to live.
Really?
Yes. And he just went to bed, and that was it. I was out my box, of course, because I was, like 19, and we'd been out drinking and clubbing and all the things that you did when you were a little bit younger, and pushing the boundaries.
Yes.
It's human nature for some of us to want to push the boundaries, and I think we do it with alcohol right up until you close your eyes and the room is still spinning. Yeah, at that point, you've got a problem.
You're out of balance. You're out of balance in every respect at that point.
Absolutely.
One of the most horrible feelings ever, isn't it? I really don't like it.
It so is. In
that scenario, did you actually have a slow horse and a fast woman with you when you got
well, it was interesting because I was working for a bookmaker at the time, so so it was fairly apt, and. Yeah, I was quite a wild teenager. I would say I wasn't an easy child, but I wanted to. I lived life to its fullest, and part of that was a fairly drinking culture. And now it only, because I drink so rarely, it only takes about a glass of wine. But what I find is, because it relaxes me so much, a quick tip: when you've had a bit of a drink, record yourself, record all those great thoughts that bubble to the surface, because actually you've released a little bit of your subconscious that maybe you know that came into your conscious, and capture it, because those moments they can be precious. You can have some great ideas and some great thoughts when you've had a couple of drinks, and keep them, preserve them.
And maybe go the next step and make it a live podcast. That would be my. Okay, more comments coming in, including Emily wishing you a happy birthday. It's your birthday. You see, it's a surprise to others as well. I didn't know. Happy birthday. Just Carl didn't tell you. That's why. And this is interesting. I like this, Stephen. You're going to have fun whether you like it or not. Now, I know it's like the Feel Good Friday idea. You know, some people will hear it's Feel Good Friday here on the Expats Portugal show. In the Gumper community here, and I just don't feel like it today, and that's fair enough, isn't it? But I also think it's still a valid inquiry. Like, generally speaking, am I having enough fun in my life? And you don't need to be embarrassed or ashamed about that, but it's not a bad checkup to do, is it, Phil?
I think it's crucial. I think I think the news is 90% depressing. And unfortunately, it bombards you from every possible media source. And I just think, if you don't go out and just take stock and say, actually, am I happy? If not, what can I do today? And just do one little baby step, something that makes you a little bit happier. You'll feel better. At the end of the day, whether you're happy or not is really down to you. The late, great Jim Rowan, he came up with this phrase, which is something that I've been trying to perfect for the last 10 years. He said, if I don't let it bother me, then who's it going to bother?
Yes.
That is such a simple phrase, but it's a lifetime of work to try and master it. It really is. By the way, I went to sleep last night in my Susie and the Banshees t-shirt. I've been wild ever since.
Very good. Very good. You didn't wake up in Hong Kong.
No, but I could have been in the garden.
Yes, some people will get that. Some people will get that. Yeah, so I get your point, I think, that you're making there, Stephen. And there is a sort of background baseline context thing to this, because I saw an environmental meme the other day where there's this phrase called something like baseline shift. And we only really make comparisons within the human mind. Obviously, can only make comparisons within its own experience, which would only be a few decades, wouldn't it? So our snapshot of how life is in general comes from that, and the background baseline changes. So 100 years ago, the oceans are very different to how they are now. So you can't really make a grand environmental assessment because you didn't live in those other times, and we have a much narrower and, I guess, less fertile or full environment than we used to have. And I think the same thing is human happiness. Possibly we had less going against us, and we were up against less previously. That's not to say people haven't suffered and struggled throughout human history, because clearly they have. You only need to look at a history book for that. But I just think the general index of happiness is a little bit down at the moment. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think time. Well, it depends where you are, I guess.
Yes.
If I was in Portugal, I'd be a lot happier than in the UK now. Yes. But that is, I think the point that it's very transient is true.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking back to 2012 with the great party that was the Olympics, which was, and the UK was felt a very different place than it does today.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean that individually we can't also have fun.
But I think cultural expectations change as well. A friend of mine, when he was growing up, and found himself, I think, in a similar situation to you, Phil, had his mother tell him, life isn't all about enjoying yourself and having fun. That's quite a hard message to hear as a teenager, isn't it? Alongside the slow horses and fast women, and I think things have changed like that. I don't think people expect to be as happy as they might be, or have as much fun in their life as they might be, kind of, attenuating and moderating and limiting themselves and their aspirations when it comes to the fun department. As somebody who deals in this, Phil, what would you say about that?
I think that's true. I'm happy to report that my father's wrong. Slow horses and fast women is a great way to live if that's what you choose to do. Yes. And I went out to prove him wrong on several occasions in my younger life.
Yes.
The other thing is, even when you were talking about base levels,
Yes.
and it's interesting because obviously, I'm pretty much living the life of my dreams, although I'm sat by the side of a road in a deck chair at the moment. But we're in our van, going where we like, doing what we want. We've got a property in Portugal. We're going to start on the roof in October. There's electricity to the land now. So, and that is now my base level. And interestingly, I found myself thinking, I'm living the life of my dreams, but am I right now, in this moment, at that exact moment, was I actually happy? And the answer was no. It's interesting how your base level, your own personal base level, changes and adapts so quickly to the situation that you find yourself in.
Yes, yeah, indeed. So there's I guess it's a dynamic, isn't it? None of this is static, or you can't just correct. Well, this is what human beings find, isn't it? That no sooner have they got all the things they thought they wanted that would make them happy, they're back at square one again with a whole new set of criteria to fill for themselves.
That's absolutely right, and the the thing is, you can change your mood. It's you that controls it.
Yeah,
No, if you want to be happy, you can be happy. If you don't want to be happy, you don't have to be. If you want to wallow, you can. It's your mood. You own it. And the more you realize that you own where you are and the state that you're in and what is happening to you, the more you can then start saying, okay, what are the little steps I could do that would change that? And there is always something you can do. Even when you've only got sucky options, then you could just take the least sucky option until things turn around for you.
There are days like that, aren't they? It's a least sucky option day today, but at least you can take control or take back control. That's an interesting phrase, isn't it? But I mean it in the context of personal happiness here, not in a political way. Happiness is a choice. James is saying there. Yeah, in our circumstances, of course, we come back to balance. It is a balance of where you are, but it's also a balance, or what comes into that is where you're at. Mentally, our circumstances can make it easier or more difficult to choose happiness. Yes, it's nicer to cry possibly inside a Rolls Royce than it is sat at a bus stop. Francis is with us this morning. Bon dia a todos. Bon fin de semana. I hope everyone is good. Been a busy time, but all good. How's it going with that job search? Like the new look, Carl. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate that. And Deagle chipping in as well with this. First, I get up. First thing I do is look at myself in the bathroom mirror, splash a few drops of water on my face, and then bless myself in the morning. I look myself in the eye, have my self-pride, and got my faith. That's a pretty strong start to the day, isn't it? Like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diego.
Yeah, I struggle with looking in the mirror in the morning.
Well, tell us, I mean, I think morning routines are important, which is what Diego is talking about there. May I pry a little bit? And do you bless yourselves in the morning? And who doesn't like to in some way? But Coach Turner, what's your morning routine?
I wake up and make sure everything's still attached.
Very good. Check.
But
check.
generally, then I'll do the God Squad tip and wander into the shower. So that's normally my routine. So quite often I'm having a shower when you're first on in the morning, Carl, I'm afraid.
That's okay. Those waterproof speakers are available with Bluetooth connection.
You're normally sort of ravaging away in the background.
Whittering on in the background. Okay. Yeah. What about you, Phil?
Well, I do all of the normal washing and bluting stuff, but then I take 15 minutes at the start of every day, and Kimberly and we spend 4 minutes just visualizing what we want, a grand destination. Maybe we visualize sitting on our veranda in Portugal on our little bit of land in Monsanto, or we visualize going to see family, or we visualize the holiday of a lifetime. But we do that for 4 minutes, and then we do 10 minutes of calm, breathing, meditative time just to center, just to take space and time and just drop all the weight that you might be carrying into the day. Because sometimes you wake up in the morning, you don't feel 100%. You think, oh, that was a weird dream, or, oh, I'm worried about this. And by taking those 10 minutes, you just shed it. Just get rid of it. It's not serving you, and it helps me to get rid of it. And that's what I do.
That's
and then
lovely.
I'm like this all day.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting because, you know, normally Mrs. T and I will go out and wander down the road and have a coffee. And that 15-20 minute walk to the coffee shop is probably has the same effect, Phil, as you. Because by the time we got down there, you know, everything's lifted away. You then sort of pump prime yourself with coffee and get on with the rest of the day. And it's become almost a routine, no matter where we are.
Yeah, routines and rituals. Very nice. Thank you for those, gentlemen. Appreciate that. Anybody else wants to share their morning routine, as Deagle has done, and Phil and Ian have just done? Do so in the chat. So looking at himself and splashing and blessing himself, Deagle does that. And step 2 of that process is if you're honest to yourself and truthful, you can be honest in life. Loving that, Deagle. Thank you very much. It's very difficult to hear Coach Turner. Is that because of he's not close enough to the microphone, or because of what he's saying? Maybe it's tough love, Turner, and it's difficult to hear what you're. I don't think she means that. I think she means maybe we need you a bit nearer the microphone. And I start with a deep, intentional breath, then focus 5 minutes of my gratitude, then 15 minutes Portuguese language study before I even consider getting out of bed. I think these routines and rituals are important to people, aren't they? Clearly, and that coming back to that earlier groaning thing. This is definitely a marker, isn't it, of groaning, getting in and out of the chair, or even on an existential level, groaning, getting in and out of the car before work, or other parts of like the big shop. Okay, here we go. It's the big shop. What to do about that, Coach Turner? Is groaning and grunting inevitable as we get older and getting in and out of chairs?
Well, I had a rather intense training session on Tuesday, and I got back home and I almost couldn't move. And when I sat down into the sofa, I groaned an awful lot. I was moaning like hell.
But you did that when you were younger and played rugby. You did that, didn't you? You can't. We do make these neural connections, don't we? I'm old, therefore I do this. I think that's a very dangerous connection to make. But sorry, you go on, carry on.
It is. I don't. Actually, I was talking about this with Mrs. T the other day, and we were saying because I had, guess what, a birthday coming up.
All right. Have that quiet.
I said, you know, I really.
Oh, we couldn't hear him. Now we can't. Now he's frozen up.
So, but there are a few things that you notice, and it is more difficult sitting down and getting up and doing all those things, which is why you need to do just a little bit of exercise.
Okay,
to sort of balance out that aging thing. So yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. Well, so let's connect that to the mental technology here. By the way, Amelie does oil pulling, which is an interesting ritual to do. Coffee and not with coffee, or maybe it is. Maybe she oil pulls and then coffee pulls after that. 40 minutes of meditation, Pilates, lunch, and work. Very good. Good job, Emily. Anybody else with that? This thing then, Phil, the groaning, and the thing I mentioned there, making neural pathways. If you do catch yourself kind of groaning, which you will, as Coach Turner's saying, there's a certain inevitability about that. But then it's important, isn't it, about what you think in that moment, about what that the meaning you make about the groaning, right, Phil?
Well, I think the groaning is a show of emotion, isn't it? It's yes. It's like, oh, I've got to get out of the chair. Oh. So then if you have, and you can do this with any emotion, and I strongly recommend it as a tip. Yeah, if you're feeling a strong emotion, there is a belief behind it, right? Yes. Your beliefs create the emotion, and I think if there is an emotion like the groaning, okay, so what's the belief? Is this belief that actually I'm finding it difficult? Is that true? Or actually, is there a better belief that would serve me better? It is, actually, I could do 10 squats right now if I wanted to. And I know that I could because I do them every day. And all of a sudden, you stop groaning in and out of the chair because actually that belief is no longer there. That belief that it is difficult. That's the belief, isn't it?
I think so. And that's what I keep catching myself doing. I think I'm accelerating aging if I associate feelings or thoughts with that. And of course, you know, it will be folly to think I'm not getting older, because you obviously are. You know, mathematically, time on the earth, that is a process which can't be ignored on that level. But I think we can do a lot about the thoughts we have on top of that. You know, the icing on top of that cake. There is a cake of truth, and there's the icing of what we make of that on top of it. And I think it's really dangerous. And I have seen people constantly, old age doesn't come alone. Oh, you don't want to get old. And those sort of people age for saying that stuff all the time, I think.
I think that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. What you do have to do is, as you said, Carl, you got to adjust. You got to say, okay, so maybe I couldn't run 10K today, but maybe I could walk 3 miles. You know, maybe I could just go for a nice walk, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get lost in the Ashridge again, which last time I was out for 6 hours. I thought I'd just do this little 10-minute loop. 6 hours later, I come back with a golf ball blister on the ball of my foot, and because I'd gone in flip-flops, hadn't I? I was well versed. No water, no nothing.
No,
no, nothing. Phone's dead. You know, it's everything you could possibly do. I mean, it was lucky I wasn't in Cornwall and dead, really. But no. So yeah, you adjust, and mentally you can adjust too. You can say, you know, because a lot of the time, I don't know about you, but sometimes I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Whereas I used to think, well, the word's always there, but you know, it wasn't. It's just that I think mentally we change and we start saying, oh, look, because everybody's saying that's what we have to be.
Yeah. Careful what you tell yourself, folks. We'll come back to this because we have a special guest with us. You might have heard earlier on that Adriel from Shimajito, although I think the name of the company is a little bit different now. I think you might know this gentleman, Ian. You might have had a conversation in the past. Adriel, great to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Have you recovered from Boom Festival yet? I don't think we've got the greatest of connections, but that is a lovely wave, isn't it? We've got to say that.
You see, I left for Boom Festival because I can hear it. If you can hear it from where we are, because it's in Adania.
Okay, look at that. You were so noisy there, Adriel, that Phil, who lives up there near Monsanto, had left the country because it was so noisy. Can we hear you?
The experience was really to go to another country. Yeah.
For people who don't know about the Boom Festival, can you tell us about it? This is Portugal's sustainable, progressive, kind of Burning Man vibe.
Kind of, yes. I think Boom is really different because they literally built a city and is owned by an organization in Idania, Culta organization. So they were making their 25th birthday anniversary after a long journey, and they are, trying to really create a community that can work differently about what we are doing now. So it's really, really nice. They have a permaculture project. They have a very incredible cashless system. It's easier to pay stuff in the Boom Festival than in regular Portugal. We have a very good and amazing 5G speed of internet. And, they just put 49,000 people in the middle of nowhere from like 1 week. And we had free water. We had the best DJs in the world. We had the best NGOs talking about the projects, families, children without, make scenes and stuff. It was really, really, really nice. A very family friendly environment and also a unique experience.
Wonderful. That sounds so good. And well done, Portugal, for hosting it. And congratulations, Boom Festival, for 25 years of that. A vision of the future, possibly?
They're going to have another one next year. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the tickets are going to start to be sold in October this year. So people that want to know more, it's really nice to hurry up, but also you can volunteer to work over there. There is a lot of things to do. It's really interesting how I can put this, an anarchist organization and people doing their duties and their, just being alive and living. It's really, really nice.
Superb. So we spoke to you a long time ago. You joined us on Good Morning Portugal many months ago, Adriel. You were there right at the beginning. And that was because you have this wonderful company growing mushrooms in or near Fundão in the Castelo Branco district of Portugal. And you are such an innovator. As I recall, you were in banking and you had a kind of light bulb moment and you thought to yourself, okay, I'm going to get out of banking. I'm going to go into mushrooms. And you did, right?
Yes, exactly.
And how's that been? Because we've got to bring the story up to date another level, which is connected with Boom Festival. But how's the whole, generally speaking, the specialty mushroom project been going for you? What sort of impact have you made?
Well, it happens that Shimejito stopped to be only a production technology that you can purchase, and now have a lot of different services. And that's the deal. You're selling agriculture as a service. So let's imagine that Phil here never imagined how to work with agriculture. He is in another country. He wants to move to Portugal, to Europe. And he just can access our website, hire our services. We can create your own mushroom farm, and you're going to run it for you, because you're going to buy all of your production to create different products like mushroom powders, tracts, tinctures. Now we have the snacks, the revolutionary snack ads. So you start to publicity on Google only, or Google Ads on YouTube, that you don't know if you is going to achieve a fake profile. You can put your brand about sustainability in our snacks. And that's it. It's about revolution. We're talking about to create a production system that everybody can access, can sell the products, can educate themselves, and also can move and work as a digital nomad. We are working now with the Estonian government, so people that like the e-residency stuff, this is a real good deal. Making your this is the Estonian e-residence citizenship. Okay, with this here and this beautiful blue card. Okay,
yeah,
you can open your company in Estonia. It's an European Union country.
Yeah,
you can open your bank, everything digitally, remotely. You pick up your card here in the embassy in Lisbon, and very good taxes policies. Really nice.
Hold on, I've missed the connection between mushrooms and becoming an Estonian citizen there. What did anyone else get that? I'm excited to hear about it, but I don't quite understand what's going on there.
That's the thing. We became a services provider for digital nomads that want to open their businesses. And instead to wait 2 years in the SAF line to get your Portuguese permit, in 30 days you have your Estonian permit, and you can live it wherever you want.
I see. Okay, a digital nomad solution. All right, incredible. Yeah. Well, okay, and this is what you do, Adriel. As far as I recall, is you're at the cutting edge of much of human behavior and consciousness, and clearly a lot has changed since we last spoke. I mean, when we spoke, you were talking about growing mushrooms and other people perhaps becoming mushroom farmers and buying a business in a box, basically, and you would be helping them because you would help them get started, you would help them find customers, and people could just step into a very exciting business that was sustainable, that was profitable, and had a very positive outcome, because mushrooms are pretty special, let's face it. Anyone who's seen that Netflix documentary will understand the power of mushrooms. But now, where are we going now with this?
They are so great. 1 minute. They are so great. That's
some Portuguese innovation going on in front of our eyes here.
Okay.
Okay, what's this?
This, my friends, is a mushroom battery. Okay, and this is a mushroom battery in a jar.
Okay, hold on. Let me give you full screen. Let's see those again.
Okay, here.
Mushroom battery. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the first commercial available mushroom battery. It contains 75 grams of mycelium.
Yes.
And it can produce 0.9 volts, like a regular battery has 1.5 volts and a rechargeable 1.2, more or less. Yeah. But you can combine it and do a lot of different stuff. We just published that in our website. And we are inviting people to purchase their first mushroom biodegradable battery to test, to do whatever they want. But if you want to make a good installation with lights in your house, in your company, you don't need to, degrade the environment anymore. And it's a very good novelty. We just launched that in the Boom Festival. And basically, we are now fundraising Shimejito to go further and deliver free energy for people by teaching them how to produce those batteries. Okay, you can purchase the batteries, but you can produce yours. We're going to teach that for everybody.
Oh my goodness. I think Coach Turner might have a question or two here, because you're a bit of an innovator and an inventor, aren't you? And you've been in the lighting industry, Ian. How exciting is this to hear about the first mushroom-powered battery right here in Portugal?
Well, I guess it unless I'm mistaking what you're doing, it's a bit like you can produce power from potatoes or lemons, or it's kind of that way. But presumably, you can make more mushrooms and therefore renew your battery. The great thing about the industry that I was in, which was the lighting industry, was LED light sources are just super high efficiency. So they use a fraction of the power that the old-fashioned incandescence, fluorescence, all of the old technologies used to do. So you can get light with very, very little power. So the match between your technology and LED lighting, I would think, would be very, very strong.
World changing. How about that? Remember where you heard it first, folks?
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that right, Adriel?
Yeah, it is just perfect.
All right.
And just while we're on it, the reason Carl, in fact, some months ago, maybe even a year ago, gave me your details was because I was working with some old contacts, old friends that do indoor farming technologies. So maybe offline we can have a discussion about that.
For sure. And the thing is, I discovered this capability of fungi in 2020, and I started with the University of Lisbon to design the research that we want to do that.
Yeah.
How to create stuff from it and how to develop applications for the mushroom battery. So that's why we decided first to do that open source. So as a Linux flavor, you can, innovate and create your things.
Yeah.
Also, we are adding another value channel in our current mushroom production. So we have the biofactories producing mycelium, you have the small mushroom farms producing the mushrooms, the edible ones, and the byproduct that we create, the soil additive, viriato. Also, if you submit it to produce energy, it will create like these mushroom blocks, these mushrooms structures, very strong structures, like this, like the spots here. Can you see? The same material that is inside of the battery over here. Okay, this is mycelium. Here you have the box spot. It's an initiative between Spellphone that creates these small vases, and this is made out of mushrooms also, the same material for the batteries, okay? And here you have substrates where you have here some seeds from Sementes Vivas, and you can grow your, microgreens in your home very easily.
Oh, wow.
You can do a lot of different stuff from mushrooms. We laid 2 years to talk about this energy possibility that we just invented. And now that's it. We are calling people around the world to develop ideas with us, lamps, rechargers for your cell phone batteries and stuff. You can start to design substitutes for regular batteries. This is a duct tape battery made with mushrooms that you can put in your remote. Okay. But yes, there are plenty of possibilities, especially with this DC current that we have in most of our electronics, like computers, cell phones, televisions right now, and LEDs, lamps, and panels. Let's put money, man. We are leveraging 5 million euros now in our crowd fungi. Okay. So Yeah,
Crowd.
so that'll
Oh,
be
Andrea, it's so good to see you again. There is one problem with growing mushrooms. Deborah says, "I love mushrooms so much, I would eat all of them have none to sell." Well, that's not the end of the world, is it? And Amelie agrees. Mushrooms rule. I'm with you on that. This is amazing. So I have put the link to what you're doing. It's very exciting, very interesting. How long until Elon Musk gets in touch and you've got a mushroom-powered car? Because on a serious note, you know, we've got this lithium mining issue in Portugal, haven't we? There are people who are quite upset, and understandably so, about lithium mining in the Serra da Estrela and other parts of Portugal. That if we could get up to speed with the mushroom technology, there wouldn't be any need for that, would there? We could leave it in the ground.
Yeah, they can live the growth. I think this brings us a possibility to rethink how we
Yes.
can move, how we can live, how we can produce electricity.
Yes.
So instead to spend like 2 hours every day in your social media, you can produce your batteries. You know, you can learn more about mushrooms. You can read more stuff offline. Because to have your computer, to have it happen right now, you have a full supply chain of exploitation and mining and stuff and energy consumption.
Yeah.
That I think is updated already. So we can start to do different stuff on this sense, you know. There is technology to do that. We don't need to wait Musk to
Yeah.
invent something to us.
Quite exactly. Yeah, well said. And I think if nothing else, taking the mushroom route will avoid us having to do this with Ubi, where he needs a device to strap to his butt and his dogs that will collect, ignite, and store the energy from my emissions, I'm going to say, into a rechargeable universe. It's too dangerous and volatile. Humans have been trying to do this for eons, I think, and it's never going to work, Ubi. Stop it. Put the lighter away. Adriel, it's so good to catch up with you and speak to you. This is the way people can find more and get involved in the crowdfunding possibly on a Feelgood Friday.
Yes, sure.
To go. Okay. Anything else you want to tell us? I'm so excited to talk to you again.
Yeah, oh, I'm inviting you to know more about the ecosystem. We
Yeah.
just made the pilot phase, proving that we could, you know, build the mushrooms. Then we got terrible fraud in the beginning of 2021. It was supposed to have like 10 million euros entering the company and stuff. Then I learned a lot from it, and now we are stronger than ever. This website is already inside Google's cloud platform. We were selected by them to operate all our infrastructure through the Google Cloud platform. And we have the Shime House. There is the place where I am right now, and you can come here to spend 2 days and close to Serra da Estrela, understanding more about mushrooms, have your psychedelic mushroom experience without use psychedelics. It's really nice.
Interesting. Okay. All right. And are we seeing a picture there of your mushroom batteries powering up a string of LEDs? Is that what's going on there?
Yes. Yes. And now I'm having some tests because I already put them to work more than 36 hours. And a regular battery runs only 6 hours, like 400 minutes, an alkaline one.
Wow.
So the difference about the lemons and the stuff you put, you see in science, you put zinc and a nail, and then you have the lemon. But the problem is the lemon is dead. So you can't store and use a lot of energy. And the nail is going to rust very, very fast. So with this design, you're able to build your battery, buying stuff in your closest Chinese store. Okay, let's remarkable any Chinese store that sells stuff for your house.
Yeah.
And you can recharge it with mycelium. So it works if the mycelium is alive. So I have batteries working for more than 7 days ininterruptedly already, but we can do a lot more. I think we can create entire systems on leaving mycelium in the ground that produce energy for, the small stuff closely to people.
Wow.
We have a very good possibility here, and that's my invitation. That's why I need to talk to Carl, because since the beginning of the pandemic, I never talked again. And you also are doing an amazing job in creating this good community. People listen to your your ideas, your stuff, your funny way to do the things in Portugal. We need more of that.
Oh, thank you. Well, right back at you. Amelie is saying this. Look, love your thinking, Adriel. Thank you for helping Mother Earth. And you make a beautiful distinction there. The technology you're talking about isn't being harvested or killed, is it? In the normal way,
Living.
It's living. It's just literally sustainable. So, Adriel, good luck with it. Boa sorte, amigo. That is so good to catch up with you. We'll be in touch again. Yeah, all the best with it. Really appreciate you being here this morning.
Yes, let's make we're going to start next month after the vacations.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
At the University of Lisbon, Tech Labs is the name of the place. We have a lab at work over there. So be my guest, everybody that's watching, to come to Lisbon, and let's make some batteries. I want to teach everybody else.
I think, and kids, welcome to that. I think I need to bring my son ready and and Ian's gonna. Okay, we're in. Fantastic! It's the Mushroom Matrix, everybody there. Oh, superb! This sounds like such good fun and such a great twist of thinking, or just a new way of looking at things. So thank you, Adriel. That's what you do, isn't it? You look at things in a new way. The ex-banker. Now, I'm not going to call you a mushroom magnate because it's not. It's a different way of thinking, isn't it? It's a completely different way of thinking with what you're doing there. All the best to you, my friend. So good to catch up with you again.
Thank you very much.
Ciao, bom fim de semana. Ciao. All the best.
Bom fim de semana. Ciao.
There he goes. Fantastic. Look at that. What do you think of that, fellas?
Wow. I'm blown away. Absolutely blown away.
Your neighbour, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Do you think I'm not going to link up with him when I get back across there? What a fantastic spirit! I've got to go and meet this guy. Yeah, you got to meet this guy. He's doing some fantastic stuff. I think I've got to go and see and understand it more. I don't know anything about it. I'm so, there are moments in your day where you think, my word, I'm ignorant. And today that was my moment. So I need to go. So now I need to go in and become less ignorant because I have that choice. I can go and do that. So
that he is on your doorstep as well, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just across the valley. Yeah. Absolutely.
And Ian, what about this then? I mean, this is a big step, isn't it? It's a giant leap for mankind, to coin a phrase.
It certainly has a lot of promise, I would have thought. I mean, I was just sitting here because I sort of sat by the window looking out at our garden, some of which is planted and some of which is bare earth, and thinking, hey, could I put fungi into my garden and power my house from it?
Like you do.
I mean, because that kind of gets to be the logical step, doesn't it, from where he started?
Yeah.
And have a live source of energy.
Yes.
But presumably, he's driven. I don't know. Fungi don't like the sun, do they? But presumably they must generate the energy from somewhere. So I suspect you have to feed them, but in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Mind you, we do already use mushroom compost. So the compost
you're already there.
We're already partly there because we put that on the garden. It's good. It's quite good for growing stuff.
That is your gateway into it. I think you're
possibly.
on a slippery slope into the mushroom matrix there already. Okay, that's super. I will do my best to stay in touch there with Adriel, and I'm sure he'll let us know what's happening there. A bit of fun for you now. We looked at an older gentleman, a senior and an elder on a BMX bike. I've got a decathlete now to inspire you as we go into the weekend, okay? So how many of these would you try this weekend on this video I'm about to show you, which I think you'll enjoy? 2 minutes, by the way.
Que du bonheur, c'est que du bonheur. Je n'oublierai jamais le record du monde, tout ça, je l'ai fait pour la France, merci.
C'est le bleu à tôle, allez les bleus. How about that?
Gotta love them. They're mad, aren't they? The French. They're just bonkers. I love them. You can't not. That's just lovely.
Have you seen that before, Ian?
I have seen it a long while ago. Yes.
Right.
And instantly, just the only one of those that I have never done is pole vault, but I have done all the other activities, though not in the way that he did, I must add.
But doesn't it show you that you can improvise? You know, if you want to grow old disgracefully, you can improvise. You can go around town and pick up a potato, stand in the middle of a motorway, you know, do the discus. I thought that discus, whatever
that
it's
looked
called,
dodgy to me.
How many of those have you done, Phil?
Honestly, none, but I quite like the idea of getting an angler's rod and throwing it in the river and pretending it's a javelin. I really like that one quite a lot, to be honest.
Who doesn't like to grab an angler's rod first thing in the morning? Remy is a naughty boy. So he's a French comedian, is he, the guy who's done that? I love that. I really enjoyed seeing that. Back to morning rituals then, I think. Oh, do they... Oh, I missed it.
I've got a T-shirt one.
Oh, go on, please.
I went to bed with a T-Rex T-shirt and woke up riding a white swan.
Very good. Excellent. Yes, that's in relation to this. Thank you very, very, very good there, Ian. And what have we missed here? Well, I think we missed a few pre-mushroom comments here and morning ritual sort of stuff as we head towards the weekend this weekend. And wish everyone a bon fin semana. Every journey, I mean, we come back to some of the good ones, don't we? Every journey starts with a single step. It's the baby steps that Phil was talking about. Amelie, I used to work in a medical school ophthalmology department. Ophthalmology has many older patients. I noticed there were two types, those still dancing and those with one foot in the grave. Go dance! And that, of course, is what we'll be doing this weekend in honor of Coach Turner's birthday. Is it a big one? The birthday, that is, or just two numbers between 50 and 60. How about that, Ian?
Well, no, it's 65, to be honest.
65 this weekend. You see, you are a great advert for what you espouse, my friend. So have a great one. Morning rituals for James. I allow myself an hour, no sniggering now, okay? I allow myself an hour from waking before getting out of bed. I don't always use the whole hour, but allow myself the slow rising. Nothing funny about that, is there?
No comment.
Phil, okay. Do they serve? Who doesn't like a slow rising? First thing? Do they serve alcohol in the group? Thank you, James, for that. Do they serve alcohol? Oh, you got me wheezing and coughing. Sorry. And do they serve alcohol at Boom Festival? I don't think they do. Ubi, for a kitchen sink drama here, doing laundry in a horse city, Golgal. It seems like a one-horse town. It's a many-horse town. Maybe then, since the Big Dude Ranch, aka Hippos, what? Golgal is closed. Perhaps it's on vacation. Yeah, it is the summer, but it's a lovely town. Enjoy it anyway. But at least there are a few horses there and a pony-drawn cart wheeling about town. There you go. Moaz is in as well. Great to see you. Thank you, Deborah, for joining us. Oh, Coach Turner had to go suddenly there. No, he's back. He's back. And this show adds a whole meaning to doing shrooms. Gentlemen, yes, thank you, Cindy B, for that. And she will no doubt be urging us all to fondle the like button. Final thoughts then about getting the balance right. Have you got anything more for us as we go into the weekend? Let's start with you, Phil.
Oh, just go and enjoy it. Just all of it. Just go out there and do what you fancy, Ian. I look forward to seeing pictures of you with a hangover tomorrow.
Yep, excellent. Get out there and enjoy life. Is the advice from Phil? Happy Phil and Kuwudu. Is that the place to find you and the rest of your work?
You can find us there. Yeah. I need to update it, but we'll do that in the next couple of weeks and update the stories and what's going on in life in general, and lots of good stuff happening.
You're too busy enjoying yourself. And final word to you, birthday boy.
Is it my birthday?
I believe so.
I think Phil nailed it. Just get out there. Get out there and enjoy it, because actually at the moment the weather's fantastic. It's cooled down in the UK because it did get a bit grim for a couple of weeks. I think in the camper van it was probably even grimmer. Yes. But it, get out into nature, because nature actually helps you balance.
Thank you so much, both of you. So you could say, go out there, get out and enjoy life like a fun guy.
Dad joke. Where's the dad joke warning?
Bye for now. Thanks, guys.